I'm very excited about this. This is the brand new Hohem iSteady M7. And I want to share 5 reasons why I absolutely love this smartphone gimbal. Now, before we proceed, I want you to take everything that I'm about to share with you with a grain of salt. I have been contracted and employed in multiple locations by Hohem for conventions and trainings and different events. So take this with a grain of salt. Having said that, there is something different with Hohem in recent years. The packaging feels really good, really thick. It reminds me of like high-end PC components or gaming consoles. I actually feel weird throwing that box away because it's so thick, it's so high quality. I'm very impressed with that. I just wanted to throw that out there. Now, since the Hohem iSteady M7 is released, does that mean that your M6 doesn't work anymore or it's not as good? Well, no. There are legitimate reasons why the Hohem iSteady M7, a brand new M7, is far superior, but this all has to do with the type of content that you're creating, and we'll get to that answer towards the end of the video. But when you hold and feel the Hohem iSteady M7, there's definitely an improvement in build quality. It reminds me a lot of some of the components that the MT2 uses, the Hohem iSteady MT2, which is their flagship smartphone stabilizer for professional cameras, mirrorless cameras, action cameras, you name it. The Hohem iSteady M7 has that high quality heft that's been missing in a lot of smartphone gimbals out there. The included tripod is larger and it's a little bit more stable, especially on heavier payloads. Now, speaking of payload, let's jump to reason number 1. And reason number 1 why I absolutely love this gimbal, and I think it's a fantastic reason to upgrade from any gimbal that you're using right now for smartphones, if you're serious about it, is the payload capacity. The Hohem iSteady M7 supports 500 grams of payload capacity. And when they shared this with me, I was legitimately blown away. I was already very impressed with the Hohem iSteady M6 400 grams of payload capacity, and even the V3, which is a foldable smartphone stabilizer that fits in your pocket, and that thing had 300 grams of payload capacity. But jumping all the way up to 500 grams of payload capacity just opens up tons of possibility for you to be able to create your own rig with lenses, filters, lights, microphones, you name it, even hard drives if you're trying to film in ProRes, which is next level. And I was able to create a rig with neutral density filters using Sandmark cases right on my iPhone 16 Pro Max. And on top of that, I was able to use the Hohem BH01 grip. This thing is a briefcase grip, so to speak, where it allows you to grab this gimbal in briefcase mode, which is a breeze, especially if you're filming low to the ground, skateboarders, things of that nature. But it's also a little bit more comfortable because the pressure is in your fingers rather than your wrist. But just 500 grams of payload capacity, hard drives, filters, lenses, lights, you name it. The sky's the limit. There's a ton of potential here, and I am very impressed that the Hohem iSteady M7 leveled up from 400 on the M6 to 500 on the brand spanking new Hohem iSteady M7. Bravo. Now, jumping to reason number 2 is that the Hohem iSteady M7 has an extension rod. And this is very interesting because this type of functionality traditionally is reserved for the casual selfie stick kind of content creator. But for the Hohem iSteady M7, because of the fantastic range of motion that you can achieve with this gimbal, you can go all the way down vertically underslung and capture low to the ground shots, as well as a full range of motion from the bottom all the way up to the top, sideways and whatnot. So being able to extend with the Hohem iSteady M7 not only will make your life a lot easier if you're trying to recreate cinematic shots like a crane reveal shot or any kind of dolly shot that requires a wider range of motion. Buff crowds, low to the ground, you name it. This extension capability is fantastic, and when you're doing selfie videos or recording yourself with either the front or the rear facing camera, there is no denying that you're able to fit a lot more in the frame when you're using the extension. The Hohem iSteady M7 follows the same design philosophy as the M6, so being able to capture video with the ultra-wide camera and get this motor out of the way because it will show in your frame. And it's very simple. All you got to do is simply click the trigger 1, 2, 3, 4 times, and that motor will get out of your way and you'll be able to enjoy smooth ultra-wide video without any interruptions getting into your frame. And then on top of that, if you wanted to use that same ultra-wide in selfie mode while you're extending, you can actually triple click that trigger for it to 180-degree rotate. So that way you're able to use the best camera in your smartphone to get as much as you can. And when you're ready to show what's in front of you, 1, 2, 3, this whole situation goes back to where it was. I am such a big fan of this. I love it. Reason number 3 is a brand spanking new removable touchscreen remote control. This is another thing that I didn't know I needed, and now that I have it, I don't want to go back and not have it. I want every gimbal from now on to have this capability. It has a brand new 1.4-inch OLED display that is crisp, and this OLED display is incredibly helpful. Instead of cycling and toggling different modes, you can actually now visualize the mode that you're in. You'll be able to switch right on the touchscreen between pan follow, pan and tilt follow, you name it. You'll be able to completely approach your shots in a more direct manner rather than to be fishing for toggles or button cycles. You can see the settings, and you can even customize actions for the control wheel, which is on the side of the gimbal. The A/B functionality on the side of the gimbal is also amazing. The A to B functionality allows you to program point A, point B, and have it cycle automatically between those 2 points. And before, you had to use the Hohem Joy app to change these parameters, but now you can do it directly on the OLED display, which means that we can create some buttery time lapses. We can use this to automatically pan no matter the application that you're using. And this is what makes this gimbal so powerful. I could literally be far away from where the gimbal is and use the remote to tilt, pan, without touching the device itself and depending on an app. The Hohem Joy app is great, but being able to customize this right on the device is next level. And I love the transparency, the customization capabilities that this gimbals bring into the table. Now, there's an additional feature that can be achieved with the removable touchscreen remote control, and that is the combination with that remote control and the brand new updated and upgraded AI tracking module, which is actually my reason number 4. The AI tracking module has been upgraded with a 2-megapixel sensor, and not only it can track your face with a simple OK gesture, stop tracking with a palm, and you can even reframe it with a little frame gesture, but you can also now have it track pets as well as hands. But when you're using the removable remote control and that awesome 1.4-inch OLED display, that touchscreen OLED display, you can actually see a live feed of the AI tracking module. So you could be a couple feet away from your gimbal and you can actually select your face, you can highlight your hands, you can highlight a pet or a subject and have your Hohem iSteady M7 track it. If you're trying to do Instagram, if you're trying to record with a Blackmagic app, if you're trying to record with a native camera, which I love to use because it's fast, quick, and easy, and this is next level. This is amazing. It is small enough to be very compact and concealable, but also substantially large enough for me to be aware of what I'm selecting, of what I'm looking at, without having to have an additional monitor, an additional device, or anything like that. It's truly very, very impressive and very magical, to say the least. I think this is a great tool for creators that are looking to cook or build something with their hands, design, artists, people that work with their hands a lot. You actually can track your hand and the gimbal will follow them around, which is really, really cool. And reason number 5 is the axis lock on each arm. So let me paint you a picture. I'm done filming. I take my tripod off, I take my smartphone off, and then I want to throw it in one of my bags. Other gimbals do that inside your bag, but the Hohem iSteady M7 has a locking mechanism here, has another locking mechanism here, and another one here. And I gotta say, the carrying case, the including carrying case, is actually really, really nice. Very similar to the previous one, a little bit bigger. Definitely things feel a little bit snug, a little bit more custom, a little fine tailored. It's nice. But sometimes I just want to throw the gimbal in one of my bags because I'm traveling and I don't have enough space to bring the full-blown carrying case. And I have a couple bags that I can actually get a really nice compartment, a little shaped compartment with the little dividers and everything else. And I just want to throw this thing in it. So being able to lock each axis and not have this thing dancing around your bag is amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Hohem. This is honestly one of those things that made me very happy just for traveling alone. So I took the Hohem iSteady M7 for a quick stabilization comparison against the good old handheld on both the rear facing camera and the front facing camera. Image stabilization is great. Honestly, if you had an M6 and jumping to the M7, I honestly don't have anything else to say. It's a great stabilization gimbal. I think Hohem has this situation on lock. Their image stabilization is very, very good. You can actually see this even better when we go to the ultra-wide, right? That's when there's no IBIS or image stabilization within the sensor or lens of the camera. The ultra-wide camera is fundamentally just the phone itself. There's no mechanism helping it. So here's where you could truly see why a gimbal is so important, especially if you're trying to shoot with a telephoto lens with the ultra-wide camera and a phone doesn't have that additional image stabilization. A gimbal like the Hohem iSteady M7 is an absolute necessity. Now, the image stabilization that the main camera has by itself, the actual sensor shift equivalent to IBIS, it's really, really good. And when you fully zoomed out, you can't really tell. The untrained eye may not really notice the difference. But But when you crop in and you zoom in, that's when you truly start seeing that instead of a steady bounce up and down with the Hohem iSteady M7, with the phone, when you're handheld, you get this wave, this up, down, left, right, this kind of wavy situation. So that's when you can truly tell the difference. Now, when you bend your knees and you ninja walk, that's when you're gonna get butter. So definitely practice that one step in front of the other. If you truly want to get an amazing seamless motion with zero up and down, just bend your knees and ninja walk with your Hohem iSteady M7 and you're gonna get absolute butter. Now, should you run and upgrade from your M6? For somebody that's interested in building a ProRes rig that exceeds the payload of the M6, absolutely. I think it's money well spent. Not only you have 500 grams of payload capacity, you also have the expansion capabilities with the extension and the touchscreen removable remote control, which is clutch. That works very well with the AI tracking module. I will definitely use the M7, but I could definitely understand if you are not that type of content creator. Now, for those individuals, Hohem has a wide variety of different products to fit those needs. So check my playlist and the link in the description so you can take advantage of all this knowledge and all this information and make a decision based on what you truly need for the type of content that you want to create. I'm that type of guy. I like to put filters, lenses. I like to put external hard drives to record in ProRes. So the moment I heard 500 grams of payload capacity, I'm sold. This is it. Here you go. Thank you. And this is just a true testament of the trajectory that Hohem has been for the past couple of years. They have elevated their game, they have elevated their quality, and their products speak for themselves. But I want to know what you think. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you have any questions or suggestions, drop them down there so we can continue to create relevant content for you. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe down below. All the links to Hohem iSteady M7 and the Hohem playlist are down in the description. Once again, thank you so much for sharing your time with me. I'll catch you on the next one.